get up here in the Loft and get your head right.
Right on, right on. What's up, head right homies? Welcome to the Loft, your head right hangout, your sane space from the Global Rubber Room. That's right, y'all. Blessed Meatloaf Monday too. We're gonna try to serve up that meat, y'all. Don't try to serve up that meat. For you red meat political junkies, man. Y'all need the fruit of the spirit too, man. You can't just be red meat political junkies, man. You gotta have the fruit, because you'll end up politically constipated, and that's a big problem that the right wing has, that they're politically constipated, and they definitely need the fruit of the spirit to make sure that they pass that stuff on through so they can be more effective in the culture, man. I'm telling you, and y'all, I'm kicking off Meatloaf Monday a little on the grumpy side, man. Uncle Zoe's about to go into grumpy mode. Right, grumpy mode, and I gotta let it loose. I gotta get it off my chest. So this is what we're gonna try to get to today, y'all. This is what has come across my desk. Where my articles go. We're gonna talk a little bit. This, just by saying her name is probably gonna get y'all a little irritated too. Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, we're gonna talk about her again. Jasmine Crockett goes full racist again. Calls Byron Donalds whitewashed. Not our kin folks. He's skin folks. Our skin folks ain't all our kin folks. Anyway, he's like, yes, Massa, I got it. Okay, so we gonna go in on that. DC U.S. Attorney Ed Martin issues statement after Representative Jasmine Crockett is caught on tape physically attacking journalists. Loomer notes a concerning element in Martin's response. Must come to an end. President Trump says tree planted by Andrew Jackson at White House to be chopped down. I don't care. FAA to investigate near mid-air collision between commercial plane Delta and Air Force jet at Reagan National Airport. CDC, they're unmanned. They don't need a man. They don't need a man.
That's right.
All right, so CDC.
Bragging about it.
Right. CDC sounds the alarm as hospital workers struggle to contain an urgent threat that has a 30 to 60% kill rate. That killer candida. Adiós. Adiós. Migrant influencers who bragged about squatting in America's squatty potty. Squatting in American homes is deported by Felicia or Felicia Navidad or whatever. Huckabee calls Mormons, Christians, Jews, people of the book. Patronizing, pandering. Beep, beep. All right, at Senate hearing. All right, sellout. Okay, so let's go ahead and back it on up to let me get the grumpiness off my chest first, and then maybe we can get back into my charming and cheerful self for the rest of the articles. Okay, Jasmine Crockett. All right, and y'all, Jasmine Crockett is irritating. She's an irritating witch. Okay, and her job, y'all, she's not really appointed as anybody qualified to really do anything in terms of policy and all that sort of stuff. Her job, y'all, is to make inflammatory statements and actions for the purpose of spurring resentment against black people by the Republican Party. That's her job. Her job given to her by the white Democrat elites, the party of white supremacy. That's who they've always been, y'all. That's who they've always been. And they will employ black folks to achieve, to maintain their stature, right? That's what they're out to do. That's what they've been out to do. That's who they are. Jasmine Crockett is part of that programming. Okay, and her job is to make sure that there are rift maintains between Republicans and black voters. Okay, Republicans have long forgotten who they are, and Jasmine Crockett is there to make sure they do not remember who they are in their association, their relationship with black folks. And she's there to make sure that black folks don't recall that either. She is there to make sure that rift stays between them and grows even wider. Okay, that's what it's all about. Remember, y'all, the Democrats are the national Manson family. They want a race rift. They want a race war. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett is very irritating. What's more irritating than Jasmine Crockett is people like Byron Donalds. All right. I want to like the guy. I really do. But he's a naive sellout. Okay. He is, at this point, the superlative of the token Negro in the Republican Party. Okay. Why do I say this? Any fool that would go out there and say black folks fared better under Jim Crow, do bite me. All right. And what's even worse than that, y'all, what's worse than that are the so-called conservative white folks who applaud this crap. This is why people think the parties have switched side, geniuses. This is why we have such a hard time. This is why the Republican Party is such an abysmal failure in the culture and are dependent on Democrats screwing things up so bad that Republicans may seem to be worth considering. And it's not even conservatism that the people are buying into. They're falling into the Trump cult of personality is what they've gone for. You haven't sold conservatism. You sold a figurehead. You sold a cult of personality because you sure as hell can't sell conservatism worth a damn. You can't sell the Republican vote worth a damn. You have to be dependent on Democrats making things so abysmally bad for people to consider something else. So they may have a chance to get the economy back on track so they can afford to be freaking perverts again. That's what you've done. Byron Donalds helps with this. You're going to say, Byron, you're going to say that things were better under Jim Crow? This is all you're saying, Byron. Let me help you out. This is all you're saying. You're saying that black folks can't do anything right unless white supremacists impose apartheid policies on us to keep us in line. That is all you're saying, dude. That's how we do better. You're of the same sentiment of John Wilkes Booth in his manifesto. This is the party of the white man. The Republicans are out to destroy them. The black man can't do it because we know what's best for them. We know what's best for black folks. That's where you're at, Byron. That's you. And the Republicans eat this stuff up. See, they kick people like me to the curb. See, at the time, y'all, when I stepped onto the scene back in 2007, see, the Republicans, they liked me because they thought they found them a black person to be able to say, to give them credibility. They're like, oh, see, we're not racist. We like what he has to say. But see, after a few years, they were like, well, he's really not the token that we need him to be. He doesn't make apologies for us. And you know, there was a time when Democrats were decent people and they were saying, I'm like, no, they weren't. And then after Obama's presidency was done, it's like, okay, well, you know, Zoe, we don't really need you anymore. There's a ton of token Negroes for us to choose from now. And they've actually found them some genuine token Negroes. I don't fit that model, so they don't need me. All right, but they've got people like Byron and they got a whole bunch of other black so-called right-wing influencers. They got a whole bunch of those. I'm not welcome at the table anymore. All right, because I don't say stupid stuff like this. That black folks did better. So Byron, here's a bit of advice for you, dude. You know what you should do? You should get the hell out of the Democrats' way. That's what you should do, man. That's what you should do. Because if Jim Crow was such a good thing for black folks, well, then you should just let Democrats do it because they're the ones who authored Jim Crow. I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. But see, the thing is, a lot of Republicans are aware of this sort of things, but they don't know what the crap to do with it. They don't know. They don't know what the hell to do with this sort of stuff. They don't know what to do with this history. They don't know what to do with this information. Except for give Democrats everything they need to promote their damage in the culture. So you have, and how long have I been saying it, y'all? How long have I been saying it? That the Democrats, you know, they accuse Republicans, you know, of hating black folks and not wanting to have anything to do with black folks and all that sort of stuff. And the second they see black folks with Republicans, the ones who make the biggest hissy fit about it are Democrats. It's like, well, wait a minute. You know, y'all complain about these supposed racist policies of the Republican Party, but when you see that, that doesn't exist, then you're mad. You see Byron Reynolds, who has a white wife, and Jasmine Crockett has a problem with this. Now, I don't know of any Republicans that have any problem with this. That's one of the good things I can say about, Republicans, at least, is like they don't really express problems about this sort of stuff because they were the party that fought against the Democrats who made it policy where people couldn't interracially marry. Internationally, I should say. I don't use the term race. All right, that's another misnomer that keeps us divided from each other.
Less Than 3 Entertainment and Bruce are saying that, what's his face, Officer Tatum is one of those sellouts.
That's right. Man, we can make a list, y'all. I try not to, but these people, well, unfortunately, I don't know if they know who they are. They don't know. I don't know if their audience really even knows who they are. But thank you guys. Yeah, that's true. He's another one. All right. But, Jasmine Crockett, in her hypocrisy, doesn't understand that while you're going after Byron Reynolds for being married to a white woman, the one who's expressing problem with that is you. It's not an issue in terms of Republican sentiments. That's an issue with you. And not only that, Jasmine Crockett, the reason why blacks and whites couldn't be married when it was illegal, it was flat out illegal, well, that was your party that made it illegal. Okay, the Democrats are the ones who imposed the anti-miscegenation laws. They did that. Oh, and Byron, was that a better thing for us? Was that better with those kind of Jim Crow apartheid policies? Was that better? Was that better for us? Both of y'all are quite irritating. All right. But yeah, Jasmine, that's your party that did that. So, I mean, while Jasmine Crockett wants to go off on like she's some sort of champion of racism, I mean, I know that she would hate mine and my wife's marriage. She would hate us. Mm-hmm. She'd hate us. But but at the same time, you shouldn't have a problem with our marriage. And by the way, Byron, mine and my wife's marriage, we didn't need the assistance of Jim Crow to keep us together. Jim Crow didn't keep us together. All right. So I don't know where you. So why the crap would you lean on something like that, dude? Of all the analogies that you could make or statistics that you could borrow from, that's where you went. You went to that. You couldn't even use maybe the time. It's like, back in the earlier 19th century, blacks, and you couldn't use a decade or something like that to refer to. Instead, you're gonna go right to apartheid policies that was the center point that black folks were able to stay together on and do better. Wow, man. This is why the Republican Party is such a failure, because like I said, the mainstream Republicans applaud stuff like this. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. There was the Jim Crow laws and there was a father in the home and they stayed married. I was like, wow, that's what it took for us, huh? Well, then why don't we just get out of the Democrats' way and just let them go full on racist like they've always been? You notice how Democrats are obsessed with race today, right? Yes. But see, Republicans think that this is some new Democrat Party. This is something new. No, it isn't. But they're not going to listen to me. I don't have. I guess I do this out of a labor of love or something like that. Yes, this is just me doing my due diligence. I know it doesn't mean a damn thing to the mainstream Republican Party. They are not going to listen to me. They're not. All I can say is, look, man. If I have the blessings to be able to stand before the Lord, I can say, Lord, I tried. I tried. And the Lord's like, man, they didn't listen to me either, because I understand. A few people listened to me. Most of them didn't. The gate is narrow, brother. The road is narrow. Don't lose heart. Don't feel bad. All right? Most of them ain't gonna listen to you. All right, and as far as the Republican Party goes, they're gonna accuse you of being a heretic. You're the problem. All right, you're the problem. They don't want to have anything to do. It's like the Lord's like, man, the Lord knows. I get it, man. I get it. I can promise you I get it. It's written in blood that I got it. All right, so if anybody sympathizes with me, it's the Lord. So I know these people ain't going to listen to me. A very few, blessed few, a very blessed few will take what I'm saying into consideration. Like y'all. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to, try to share these things with you. But, unfortunately, the culture is doomed to having a Republican Party that is poisoned by an excess of patriotism and pride. They don't know how to balance that stuff out, So this is what we end up getting. Dang, I was thinking I could probably make a YouTube short out of that, but I went too long, even for that. So, and I don't even know. People say you need to make YouTube shorts. Those don't do anything. When you shadow ban y'all, I can make a YouTube short that's like 5 seconds long. It ain't gonna do nothing. I put shorts up there. You'll see them. They probably the 30 views. No, they don't work. So
there was one recently though, had to do with the IRS, and it got a lot of views. It was in the past year. Like
relatively,
yeah, compared to what you would get if you didn't have a governor on you.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Let's try this one. D.C. U.S. Attorney Ed Martin issues statement after Representative Jasmine Crockett is caught on tape. Dang, it's like that's weird. We still use tape. Caught on tape physically attacking journalist. Lord Loomer notes a concerning element in Martin's response. So I'm pretty sure that Jasmine Crockett, who is funded and backed by the white, Democrat elites because she is their puppet. And I doubt if this is going to hurt her. She's going to get some finger waving done at her and all that sort of stuff. And, even though she's got them Wolverine nails, that she's going around scratching people with.
Yep.
I hope that dude is made sure that he made a beeline for the free clinic to make sure that he got some good antiseptic or ointment for them scratches that he got on her. Women with long nails, they concern me. It's like,
yes, me too.
I'm sorry. It's hard for me to get my mind around good hygiene and long fingernails. It's women who have these long fingernails and stuff like that. You can see in their disposition that it's a kind of attitude and it's a kind of outward appearance of my claws are out.
Yep.
It's women who do that. They have this kind of they have that kind of demeanor. They're very on guard. They got a big chip on their shoulder. They paint them up. They put their war paint on them, right? My claws are out. And that's the kind of person that Jasmine Crockett is. It's like she likes these long things, it's like a long nails and long eyelashes and stuff like that. So she's just kind of got this, like I said, this her war paint. And, so she didn't scratch this person, and be careful, dude, because we got this new we got this new fungus going around right there, and it's a nasty one. We just read the title on it, so be careful that you didn't catch that fungus from. It's a candida. And like I said, women with these long fingernails and stuff like that, I don't trust that.
Yeah, I don't see how they can be
I don't
kept
care
clean.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm stepping on any toes or anything like that, but
Yeah, do any of you guys have long fingernails in the chat?
That's right. I mean, I guess maybe I'm biased for having short fingernails because I'm a musician, man. So, if you're going to play guitar, or, you want your, and you're going to play bass, it's like I don't want them clicking, you got to be able to put your fingers to the fretboard and whatnot. So, I'm already partial to having my fingernails trimmed really short. So,
this article that you just read, the Capitol Police, the DC Police, lied about referring the assault case involving Crockett. They lied about turning that over to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Oh, the Capitol Police.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean those people that shot, that shot people? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up any bad memories or anything like that, but the ones that stood by while Biden stole the White House. Mm-hmm. Back the badge. Right?
Yep.
Hey, that's right. The blue, they're all in our corner. They're on our side. Okay. As long as you're in the police unions, that's a revenue collecting arm for the Democrat Party. I wouldn't put too much stock in that. It's like I know we got some patriots in the police force and stuff like that, and I'm with it. I'm with it. But like I said, as long as they're collecting revenue through them unions for the Democrat Party, suspect. Anyway.
Yeah. Less than 3 Entertainment says, though, Crockett is bald-headed.
Okay, speaking of things, long things to add on. It's like, I guess at least maybe that's what them eyelashes are for. They're like a safety measure. Ugh. In case she goes out in the wind or something like that, and that hair weave fly off or whichever, she can just take my eyelashes off and stick on that. I still got some hair up there. All right, so anyway. Where was it? So yeah, Crockett will most likely, get away with this too, because the Democrats, she's good at what she does, man. Democrats need her out there, making sure that divide is driven between Republicans and blacks. That's what she's there for. What else we have here? Must come to an end. President Trump says tree planted by Andrew Jackson at White House must be chopped down. I know that there's like some Republican voters out there crying about that. It's history. It's American history. Whatever, dude. It's like, hey, remember, I thought we were all about cutting down that old growth. Cut down that old growth. I don't care if that chief belonged to Andrew Jackson. So what? Cut it down. Anyway, but no. But here's the thing that bugs me. Trump embracing the comparisons between Andrew Jackson and him. And Andrew Jackson is another one of those darlings of the right wing. When you think about it, it's like a lot of Republicans, they have more affinity for Democrat people in history than they do Republicans. The only Republicans that Republican voters like pretty much dig is Reagan. That's about it. That's really. You ain't gonna find two. It's like, but as far as Republicans, they love Andrew Jackson, FDR. They think of him as like the sensible Democrat.
Yeah.
You even got someone out there who like Woodrow Wilson. The one who showed Birth of a Nation. The movie that made heroes out of the KKK and showed that in the White House. They like Woodrow Wilson. John F. Kennedy. They love Democrats more than Republicans. Like I said, Reagan is like their idol. They love Reagan, but aside from that, they don't really pay that. You'd be surprised how many Republicans hate Lincoln for no good reason, except for a lot of them have been brought up in a Democrat-run public school system, and they think that brainwashing hasn't got to them, and they see Lincoln as they're embarrassed of Lincoln. I know plenty of Republicans, man. They don't like Lincoln, and they don't like me because I tell them what time it is. And because I do, well, you're not token enough for us. We're gonna find us a new token Negro friend. That's how it is, right? That's pretty much what the Republican Party has become. It's just a sad shadow of what the Republican Party was founded for and who the Republican Party has been. But anyway. Andrew Jackson, and I guess Brian Kilmeade's got a book out there, just the wonderful Andrew Jackson, right? What do Republicans love so much about Andrew? Because they're blinded by their patriotism. Like America, everything that America has done is just good and noble, y'all. That can't be true as long as we have Democrats here, right? So that can't be true. But because of Andrew's brilliant military strategy against the British and all that, he's a hero. Andrew Jackson was a pro-slavery Democrat. Okay, but so what? So what? And if Andrew Jackson was president, just like Donald Trump, if Donald Trump was president, there wouldn't have been a civil war. There wouldn't have been a war to end slavery. Right? Because you got a lot of Republicans who are brainwashed into believing that the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. Okay. And that's what they think. They just think that Lincoln was just some northern tyrant who just wanted to invade the South because he was jealous of their resources and all that sort of stuff. That's what they think it's about. Okay, you see how the Democrats are obsessed about race today, right? Why don't y'all understand that the Democrat Party has always been that way? They've always been that way. The same Democrats that founded the Confederacy. Yes. And a lot of these people who say that the war wasn't about slavery, they never even read the Constitution of the Confederacy. They ain't even read it. They don't even know, right? So Andrew Jackson was before that, and the Democrats who wanted to keep it going, they became the Confederacy. But Jackson was a pro-slave. Oh, of course he would say things, well, you know, we need to treat them humanely and stuff like that, or whatever, as he grows his slavery ownership. And Andrew, if you treat your slaves so humanely, why did they try to escape? And when they would escape, you would brutally beat them, didn't you? Yes. Despite saying we need to treat them humanely, but he brutally beat his slaves. Okay, so you got Republicans out there who think that Andrew Jackson was all about, you know, the working class and the little guy, you know, and that's where Democrats get their reputation. Even Elon Musk fell for that crap. Well, I thought they were the nice people who were for the little guy and for the working class and all that sort of stuff. It's like, man, there's a reason why the Democrats are called the invisible empire, because this stuff is invisible to them. All right, but Andrew Jackson, he was like, I'm sick of the elites and all that sort of stuff, and the aristocracy. Bullcrap, dude. This is why Andrew Jackson wanted to make sure that we didn't get back under British rule. We got to separate from the crown, because Andrew Jackson, just like a Democrat, does not like being subjugated, but wants to have the freedom to subjugate others. If you don't allow these people to subjugate others, then you're a tyrant. That's how Democrats view Republicans. See, Democrats want to be able to tyrannize people. Democrats want to be able to impose their perversions on other people. They're perverts in every sense of the word, right? And you better let them be free to pervert on people. If you don't, you're a tyrant. All right? And that's the same mentality that Andrew Jackson was. We don't want to be subjects to somebody else. We want to be free to be able to subjugate other people. That's a lot of what America was. And so you had to have the founding fathers are like, yeah, man, we got to make this to where that's not what we're supposed to do. So now they're dealing with people who are wanting to have to build America, but they want America. You got people who want to make America a place where the slave market can continue. Man, we're gonna be super lucrative here. And you had other founding fathers like, I think you guys missed the point, and we've got a serious conflict of interest here. So they kind of had to finesse how they're gonna work that in, to work slavery out of America. Okay, not all the founding fathers were about slavery. Some of them inherited slaves, and you can't just get rid of them, right? You can't just say, hey, you know what? You don't have to be our slave anymore, man. You free, man. You can go ahead and go. You can't do that. You know why? Because you had other people be like, yeah, as soon as that, if you go ahead and let go of them slaves, we're gonna snatch them up for ourselves. That's why. So they couldn't, you know, like people like Washington and stuff like that, they couldn't just let their slaves go. All right? They would have been seized by someone else. All right. So there was, you know, you had the abolitionist movement, you know, was already starting to get going. But you had people who wanted to keep slavery legal. You know, Andrew Jackson was one of them, you know, and he was a Democrat. And Republicans, that doesn't matter to them. That doesn't matter to mainstream Republicans. All right? He was a hero who set America on the path to liberty and freedom. Liberty to do what? That's what these people don't understand. It's like, yeah, dude, you notice something about Democrats? They're very good strategists. They've been pulling the number on Republicans for a long time. We've been in a war, y'all. The war hadn't really stopped. Democrats have been at it. Republicans they're late to the party. Okay? Democrats have always been pretty good strategists. All right. And while they're at war and making their strides, what did they use their victories to do? Is a light going on yet with you mainstream Republicans? Are you getting it? While you're praising Andrew Jackson, did you ever stop what it is that he wanted to win for? He wanted to win against the oppression of somebody else so he could be the oppressor, unchallenged. That's why. So Democrats, they win these victories, getting out there talking about liberty and freedom and all that sort of stuff, and love wins and whatever, and we're going to win for love. And when they get their victory, what do? Their victory is all about promoting perversion, ain't it? But, I guess Andrew Jackson, the Democrat Andrew Jackson, he's different. And this Democratic Party is just a new Democrat Party. This is why Republicans lose. All right? They don't balance this stuff out, man. They don't balance, they don't think this stuff all the way through. These mainstream Republicans. They don't think it through. You know? And more importantly, y'all, they don't prayerfully think it through. Get to know the Lord so you can see clearly who the enemy is. You can't see the enemy. Right? Anyway, I don't care if that tree gets chopped down or not.
I like the tree for itself.
Yeah. It's like, forgive me, the sentiment attached to Andrew Jackson. I don't care. But the thing is, and once again, like I've been saying about with Republicans, they want to leave up Confederate monuments and stuff like that, and it's American history. It's like, no, it's not, dude. It's Democrat history. If you want to leave the statues and monuments up and stuff like that, I support you. Yeah, do it. Just make sure these people know that they're Democrats. Make a placard and make sure that thing is screwed on there to let people know that, yeah, these were Democrats. Mm-hmm. But Republicans don't do that. And that's the reason why we lose so abysmally in the culture. You got your political victory. Hey, good for you. It ain't sustainable.
Yeah, especially if Trump is out there, like, exalting Andrew Jackson and celebrating that he's compared to him so much.
Yeah. Dude, you don't want to do that, man. But like I said, these people ain't going to listen to me. And just going to go ahead out there and butthurt and complain about, how bad Democrats are making things. Well, I guess they praise, I don't know, whatever. It's very confusing. Let's see. FAA to investigate near mid-air collision between commercial plane and Air Force jet at Reagan National Airport. So I guess the Air Force jet was T-38. Them trainers is when you go out when you
is
take.
That what the T stands for?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So T-38, the Talon. I wouldn't. Man, that'd be a fun little jet to boogie around. Yeah. So the trainer is you gotta have like a flashing sign on there, man. Student driver, student driver, student pilot on board when they got that. So they clear the airspace and say, I'm coming through, right?
Extra clearance for everyone.
Yeah. So they haven't said yet where. And by the way, I guess this commercial airline was a Delta. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that must be a popular plane out there, because this was also the collision with the helicopter, that was coming out of Reagan, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. That was a Delta.
Yeah, it's a bad airport.
Yeah. I guess they ain't gonna do nothing about that. So
all of the near misses that we've had for the past 2 months since the fatal one, most of them have been Delta, and we know that Delta loves hiring their female pilots.
Yes, they're unmanned.
Yes, unmanned. They brag about it.
Okay, so yeah. And they haven't said whether this pilot was a female or not, or I guess who was off,
That should tell you something.
Yeah, I know, right? I guess even if it was a dude, I'm pretty sure he's with the whole, you can identify as whatever. So, but yeah, this right here. Well, I guess maybe if we have to, if we have to fly, I guess don't fly Delta and don't fly in Reagan. They just trying to give Reagan a bad name, trying to associate himself with something bad. It's like they'll do anything. But anyway, I mean, I haven't seen any more details as far as that goes. But it is what it is. Let's read a little bit of it actually, instead of me just sitting here speculating. I wonder what sort of developments have happened on it. Come on, page, open up. The FAA is investigating a near mid-air collision between a Delta Airlines flight and an Air Force jet at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. The close call follows the fatal mid-air collision in January between an American Airlines Okay, well, that was American Airlines. Oops, my bad.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not in my article.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay.
Delta Airlines.
What article did you get? I remember it being Delta too. See, man, this is why I shouldn't trust the news, man. This is okay. No, there it is. Yeah, between a Delta Airlines flight and an Air Force. No. That's dang it. The close call follows fatal mid-air collision in January between an American Airlines passenger jet.
One, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Delta Airlines 813. You're losing credibility here, Joe. You didn't have much to begin with. Delta Airlines A319 taking off from Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport almost collides with the U.S. I read that already, man. Come on, get to the nitty gritty. Is there something else that I don't already know that I haven't said that's already more interesting than what you guys are talking about? Let me see. Was nearby and air traffic controllers issued corrective instructions to both aircraft. The FAA, the only instruction that they should put out there is student driver. That's
Flyer.
it. Yeah, student driver, get out of the way. Stay grounded for a minute, or let's see. What else?
There was a loss of separation. The NTSB said it was aware of a loss of separation between Delta Flight 2983 and other aircraft shortly after takeoff from DCA.
So let's see. Yeah, you want to make sure that you got some distance there, folks. You know, those planes move a little bit faster than you're used to while you're on the road. You know, once you see that plane, it's going to be on you pretty darn fast. Let's see. I love this, y'all. This is the big takeaway right here. The representative says nothing is more important than the safety of our customers and people. A Delta spokesperson told Fox News Digital. That's why the flight crew followed procedures to maneuver the aircraft as instructor. She lying. Lying, man. Remember, y'all, what was the most important thing to them? Making sure that the woke agenda is followed. We're going to make sure that this is a place where, we're going to hire women and trans folks and all that sort of stuff. That's the most important thing to them.
And that was the head of safety, the woman that is the head of safety for Delta.
Yeah, that's their priority, y'all. That's on record.
Yep.
Okay, this right here is some bull milk. All right, don't believe it. All right, what else we got? Let's see. CDC sounds the alarm as hospital workers struggle to contain urgent threat that has 30-60 kill rate. So once again, whoever that dude was who was taking that footage of Jasmine Crockett, you make sure that you get your penicillin or whatever, because she done scratched you and she looked like a candidate for candy.
Gross.
So let's read a little bit. Let's read a little bit of this here.
With that picture in mind.
Yeah, I know, right? A drug-resistant fungus. Fungus is just kind of fun to say, ain't it? All right. Fungus is...
Tom Jensen already said fungus among us.
There's a fungus among us, right? And I guess, does that make Jasmine Crockett a fun gal?
Yeah.
All right. And I guess the plural for fungus is fungi. Are you a fun guy?
Oh.
So...
you need your drumsticks to do that.
I know, right? I got my drum set in the background back there. Just jump back there and do a stinger.
Less Than 3 Entertainment says fungus contains the word fun.
It sure does, right? So let's see. In American hospitals, targeting patients who are already reeling from illness. Are you reeling in the illness? Just throwing away. Oh, sorry. Gotta get my Steely Dan up in there, man. So new cases have been identified in Georgia and Florida hospital. The fungus went down to Georgia. It was
Wow. I think you might need to make some sort of parody song for this.
I know, right? Candida went down to Georgia. It was looking for soul. All right. Hospitals, according to The Hill, Candida auris has been in the U.S. since 2016, but cases have increased annually through 2023. The most recent year for which the Federal Centers for Disease Control have prevention have data. Sorry, folks. We've had 4 people at one time on and off over the past few months, and in years past, it was unusual to have one or even 2 people with Candida auris in our hospital. Dr. Timothy Connolly at Memorial Health in Savannah said, according to WJCL-TV. Joanna Wagner from the Georgia Department of Public Health said, Georgia, don't you get no fungus, Georgia. All right, sorry. Has had more than 1,300 cases through February. The fungus spreads through medical equipment that enters the body, such as breathing tubes, feeding tubes, or catheters. The kicker, traditional cleaning solutions or disinfectants do not touch the fungus. All right, it's a feisty fungus, y'all. It's a fighting fungus, man. Many other disinfectants that are EPA registered and historically used by hospitals and medical facilities are not effective against C. auris. This is stated by Wagner. The CDC called Candida auris an urgent antimicrobial resistance threat in 2023, The Hill noted, and is sounding the alarm again. The rapid rise in geographic spread of cases is concerning and emphasis the need to continue surveillance, expanded lab capacity, quicker diagnostic tests, and adherence to proven infection prevention and control. Dr. Megan Lyman, an epidemiologist with the CDC, said, according to the Los Angeles Times, if you get infected with this pathogen that's resistant to any treatment I guess that they'll allow, here's probably what's going to happen, y'all. There will probably be something that does work on this. And when it does, they're gonna try to ban it.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna try to ban it. If you get infected with this pathogen that's resistant to any treatment, there's no treatment we can give you to help combat it. You're all on your own. Melissa Nolan, an assistant professor of epidemiology and biostatistics at the University of South Carolina, said, according to Nexstar. Nolan said the fungus adapts to endure. It's really good at just being, generally speaking, in the environment, Nolan said. Yeah. So if you have it, and I guess, hey, this is, some stuff for us to know about.
Absolutely, this is scary.
Yeah, get ready, because this is, I guess this is going on in the South.
Yep.
I guess it spread its way through the Southern states, and I tell you what, man, it's really irritating how many people I see walk into them bathrooms, and use it and not wash their hands.
I saw a nurse do that recently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and if there's one thing I don't want to be, y'all, is Pharisaic, because I don't want to be religious about this stuff. Like this, it's funny because it was, you had the liberals who got all religious about the hand washing and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, as Christians, man, we were already there. It's like you make fun of us, with our religious, superstitious hooey about, hand washing and whatnot, and getting all Leviticus on you and whatever. Levitical and the laboratory, how do you say that word? Laboratory, yes. Right? And we're like, now look at y'all. We do it as a common courtesy, man. You say, yeah, keep your hands clean.
Yes, a common courtesy.
But there's like, they got all religious about it and whatnot. But still, man, I can't help but look at people sideways. I'm like, you nasty. Going in there and wash, and use it and not wash their hands.
Yeah.
Like it ain't no thing. But just customers, employees, whatever.
I will give you a dirty look if you pooped and did not wash your hands. Not you, people I work with. I'm like,
what you doing in the bathroom with me, girl? Hey.
No, if I'm at the grocery store or a business or at work and I see that,
Whatever they do in the bathroom. One, number two, I don't care. If you come into the bathroom, if you just come in there, and if the stalls are like full, if the stalls are full, and you don't get to use it, and you walk back out, I'm still gonna look at you sideways.
Yeah.
Like, you better at least wash your hands.
All
You've
the
been out there
germs.
you know what I'm saying? You've been out there in the grocery store. You might have been touching that fruit that them parents should be letting their nasty booger-eating kids get in there and rub all over the fruit and be playing with it and stuff like that, and putting it in their mouth and whatever, and putting it back in there and digging in their butt and come back in there and all that sort of stuff. Walk around touching on stuff and I want the candy and I want the cereal and be grabbing on the doors and stuff like that. People go be touching that stuff. Man, you better go in there and wash your hands while you in there, or make sure you get some of that squirt some of that freaking antibacterial stuff on there. I don't care if it's not gonna wash off your natural germs, man. All you got to do is just if you use that stuff, just wipe your hands on your neck or something like that. You put your natural germs back on there. You good. All right. You know what I'm saying? So, this kind of stuff, man, you know, we got to be careful, because this kind of stuff that's going around is not even just so much about the safety aspect of it. Man, we got to be careful that the Democrats ain't pulling some more stuff on us.
Right.
Don't put nothing past them, man. Don't give the devil a foothold. We got to do our due diligence, not wait for these government factions and these agents pull one on us. We got to be ahead of that sort of stuff from a biblical standpoint. You know, loving our neighbor, man, and make sure that we're doing our part. You know, that this is as good as it gets, y'all. It's as good as it gets, and it's basic. You know what I'm saying? Be mindful of these things. You go into the stores, man. You know, if they got some of their hand sanitizer, use some of that sort of stuff, man. You know, when you're going around, you know, it's good to maybe even keep some on you. You're going around touching stuff, man. I'm telling you, I know you got to see them. You know, people be going there. It don't matter if it's grown folks. It don't matter if it's kids. You know, coughing in their hands. They'll try to do the thing that they cough on their shoulder and stuff like that. You know, they'll be like, cough on their shoulder, you know, because we're being polite and all that sort of stuff. Cough on their shoulder. cough on their elbow and whatnot. And then they'll see their friend in the store. Oh, I haven't seen you in how long? And they go and hug them.
And hug them, yeah.
And wipe that stuff on it. And this person, you know, they now they got their germs on their shoulders and stuff like that. They got their germs on his arm, man. You ain't gonna get away from it. All right? What you gotta do is be able to, like, you know, make sure you mitigate that stuff. You know, keep your little can of alcohol spray or whichever.
That's what I do.
You know, it's like every once in a while, just being there, you know, give yourself a little spray. That's as good as it's gonna get, y'all. Because if we don't take that personal responsibility to do it, then the government's gonna do it. You want that?
That's true.
Sometimes it's just as good as it gets to take those little measures as a self-governing people. You know, I'm not trying to be, you know, all up into this nonsense about being into I was like this before COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, making sure that you know, I don't want to be picking up nothing. I don't want to be spreading nothing.
Well, to be fair, yeah, because your mom, you know, has autoimmune diseases, and so does your wife. So,
That's right.
You were a lot more careful.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'm more sensitive to it, you know, because of such issues. But like I said, I mean, it's not a bad idea for everybody to do.
Amen.
You know,
Yep.
and I'm just offering it as a suggestion, rather than the government saying we need to quarantine and this.
Yeah.
Man, just let's stay ahead of that.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? So this sounds like a real nasty one. You know?
It's a yeast infection that is on your skin, and it has a 30 to 60% fatality rate because there is no cure.
Yeah. So now, once again, y'all, and like I said, I'm looking at this from a biblical standpoint. That's my motivation. And this is how, from a biblical standpoint, this is how I respect other people.
Yes.
And you remember, you know, one of the things that's talked about a lot in the Bible is leprosy. You know, and that issue with mixing fabrics. See, people think that the Bible is this superstitious. Well, what is this with mixing fabrics? Well, you know, when you mix fabrics, you can't wash them the same. Now that there's prophetic implications in there too, but the physical implications of it is that, like, linen and wool, you know, you can't mix them together, right? They don't dry the same. Wool is a lot more mold resistant than linen is. Linen is kind of, it's pretty mold resistant, but not the same, not to the degree. And you know, when you're out there, man, and you got that humidity under that sort of stuff, or if you can't wash those things the same, you know, that stuff breeds mold. You get mold in your fabrics, okay? And that fungus can turn into a skin-eating disease.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why God was like, do not mix fabrics, okay? I ain't trying to be your free clinic. I can heal your diseases and stuff like that, but you know what's even better is just being obedient to what I'm saying and not have to deal with that problem in the first place. Mm-hmm. You know, so the Lord was like already thinking on hygiene as it was, okay? We don't want to have this problem. Don't be mixing your fabrics. You know, y'all, if you don't wash this stuff right, or, you know, if you don't do this right, you get mold growing in your clothes. So there's that. Anyway.
Roland says, Democrats told illegal migrants, don't change your undies, don't wash hands, get your free stuff. Yeah, that's how we ended up with tuberculosis and measles coming back at us.
Come on now. Right? Yeah, remember, measles is making its comeback too.
Yep, and in California, tuberculosis made a huge comeback for like 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. So this
under
right here,
Obama.
you know, we got this candida fungus, right? Yeah.
This is very scary.
We don't want none of that.
No.
Let's see. Adiós. Bye, Felicia. With this migrant influencer who bragged about squatting in American homes is deported. Okay, so what this dude was, what he was doing obviously was very misleading. I mean, because he's trying to wax abandoned home laws, policies according to that, and telling people that, you know, they can come in and, you know, they can squat in these homes, they're abandoned, and if they're abandoned, you can come in and you can inhabit them and stuff like that. Okay, first up, your premise is already wrong because, well, you're telling people who are here illegally, you know, what they can do supposedly legally. That in itself is very misleading. And just to the nitty gritty, you know, to make a long story short, listen, dude, you can't just go and occupy an abandoned building. I mean, one, you got to make sure that you do your due diligence to make sure that it's abandoned. And I guess to do that, you may have to give yourself away, you know, and you can't just go, if you want to renovate, you know, or assume to flip or whichever, or do some sort of improvement with an abandoned home, okay, I got you. See, that's what he's trying to make it look like. You have the right to go and improve this abandoned home, right? But he's not saying the full thing here. This is what he's leaving out. And I'm no expert in this, y'all, but I think I kind of know that when a building like is abandoned, it's usually condemned too, all right? And if it's condemned, you can't live in it. All right? You can't live in it even if you're fixing it up. You have to make it inhabitable. All right? So he's deceiving these people and telling them, yeah, you can go ahead and squat it. We have the right to come in and improve these places and things like that. Okay, yeah, you can improve, but you can't live there until it's improved. You can't live there until it's up to code.
Because you could get hurt.
That's right. And then who got to pay for that? So when you guys you guys want to come here, you want to be a liability that we have to pay for. So once again, y'all, these immigrants, these illegal immigrants that he's talking to coming in, and you just go and squat in these homes and you can improve them. No, you can't. You can't just come in and live in an abandoned and condemned place and assume that you can fix it up. No, you can't live there until it's fixed up. And you can't live here until you're able to come here legally. So there's a lot of legalities that you guys are like leaving out. Anyway, so adios, bye.
Oh, and he had the nerve to be crying.
I know, right? You need protection.
Yeah, saying he's being persecuted in the United States.
Boy, you ought to quit. No, not here with that.
Did it say how he disrupted the flight back to Venezuela? I don't remember.
I think so. Wait, no. I thought, I'm confused on that too. Was it that the plane was turning around and they were supposed to come back and he was causing a disturbance?
No, that was the other flight.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, if you know about, this muchacha that's been deported, back to Venezuela. How did he disrupt the flight? I'd really like to know.
Was he? Yeah.
Because, it doesn't, it says that in the title of the article, but it doesn't say how he disrupted the flight, so, in the article.
That's probably, is that where he did his like little selfie video?
That's what I'm wondering. I'll bet that's it.
You're like, sit down and shut up, SA.
Yeah.
It's like,
But
we're
you're
going
crying.
back, right?
He was literally crying.
Yeah, it's a little late for that now. Shut up. You sit down. Siéntate. All right. Listen, I remember the first time I heard the word cállate. Right? I was in school, I was in line, and of course, we're in elementary school and we're all a little bit chatterboxes and whatnot. And the teacher's all like, cállate! It's funny, like when you look at the word, cállate, I think it's like, it's spelled quiet.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. It's spelled. No, I think there might be another E on the end of it, but yeah, it's funny how we get these, where we get these words from. It's all romantic language based anyway, so.
Cranky, high mileage. Okay. Yeah, can you guys put the spelling of cállate? And is it quiet?
That's racist. Why are you stereotyping them like they know how to spell in Spanish? I mean, sorry, that just sounded horrible, didn't it? Anyway.
There are resident Espanol speakers.
I'm fooling out. But yeah, I was in line and the teachers are like, she's like, cállate. And I'm like, and I'm asking her, why does she keep saying that? What does that mean? She's like, be quiet. I'm like, who you think you talking to, man? Like, don't tell me to be quiet. He's like, why does she keep saying it? Why does she keep saying it? He's like, be quiet. And I'm like.
And several years later. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like quiet with an E at the end.
Yeah, that's where we get the word quiet from.
Interesting.
Yes. Let's see, which is why he was like, be quiet, quiet.
Wow.
Let's see. That didn't dawn onto me. I don't think I think that wasn't until I was in maybe even like my 30s. I don't know. I reflected on that for some reason. I don't know how. I was just well in adulthood. I was like, quiet, cállate, quiet. Sometimes it takes me a little while to put two and two together. Let's see. Huckabee calls Mormons, Christians, Jews, people of the book. That's it. You sellout. All right. So, hey, Huckabee, if Mormons, if they're people of the book, why do they have another book? Why do they need another testament, Huckabee? Why are you patronizing these people? They're a cult, dude. All right. Yeah, they may be nice people. But as the word of God says, man, all our righteousness is but filthy rags, okay? It doesn't matter. You could be the goodest person on earth. It doesn't matter. If you don't believe that the testimony, given in the canon, if you don't believe that the canon is complete concerning the testimony, then the Lord is just like, I don't know you. You don't know me. You didn't think my word was sufficient. You went and put together a whole new against what my word says, man. Against what my word says. If another person or another angel comes and just tells you that there's more to it than this, cursed. Cursed, Mike. That's what the word says. And you gonna try to say that the Mormons are and look, man, I ain't hating on Mormons. That's not what it's about. Ain't no bigotry here or anything like that. I'm not trying to be inflammatory or nothing like that. This is about the spirit. And this is a deceptive spirit. The word tells us to test the spirits on this. They can't be people of the book, Mike, if they're following another book. And just like, and Mormons do it, and Islam does it, they'll do the same thing. They'll be like, well, this is valid because doesn't your Bible say, it's like, well, if our Bible is the book that you use to square your book, then why don't you just go by the original? Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Why don't you just go with the real thing? What are you making another book for? How do you verify what was supposedly given by Mormon? You can't verify that. The Bible tells you that there's a verification process of this sort of stuff. You can't verify the Book of Mormon. All right? So, I mean, what's that got to be for like the Jews concerning like, what the Mormons have to say about it? Help me out, y'all, because as far as I know, the Jews are cursed and ended up here in America and and became them red-skinned Indians.
Yes.
All right, how does that square up with Scripture? Where is that in the Bible? I think the closest you're gonna get to anything like that, the closest you're gonna get is what? Esau?
Right, yeah.
That's about as close
That's
as
a
you.
good point.
Yeah, that's about as close as you're gonna get, man. You know, so, and I don't recall Esau. You know, I don't even think that he crossed the Mediterranean Sea, let alone cross the Atlantic and ended up over here. You know, so yeah, the Book of Mormon is way out of step with the canon. So Mike, man, you don't have to do this kind of pandering nonsense. This is some ear-tickling bull milk. Okay, and you know, listen, the only ones that you can really bring to the table about really having these things in common would be Jews and Christians. And who was we listening to? Seemed like he was on Stephen Gardner's show. And he was from Israel. And
Josh Hammer.
Josh Hammer.
He's a young whippersnapper, content creator, journalist. He's a journalist.
Okay, now, and whether this is you got your younger Jews and you got your older Jews who do this. And listen, if it's one thing that I definitely don't want to do is I don't want to drive a wedge. And I am definitely one of those, because you got a lot of, Christians, unfortunately, who are just like, the Christ is king, kind of stuff.
Right,
It's like, do knock it off with that inflammatory nonsense, please. All right. And also, what was I trying to say here? Not only they want to, it's just Christian values, Christian principles, not Judeo-Christian. Do away with the Judeo.
Yeah,
prefix.
they have their memes that say, do away with the Judeo, basically.
Right. You need to do away with that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's Judeo-Christian, man. Judeo-Christian. Do not give any sort of foothold that separates our king and high priest from being Jewish. Yeshua HaMashiach is a Jew. And that right there is the focal point of us being a Judeo-Christian nation. Do not separate that, man. All right, and so now, what was that cat's name on Stephen's show?
Josh Hammer?
Josh Hammer. See, now this is where people like Josh is making a mistake. All right, and it's confusing. It's meant to confuse. All right. Now, Josh, look, maybe he is well-meaning. I don't care if he is or not, because it causes a big problem. See, Josh is of this mindset is that what unites, right? Because he wants to be the one looking magnanimous and stuff like that. Christians and Jews can come to the table and, and we're allies in this. Because when you look at the morality, it's the Christian morality, we have this in common.
Right.
In Judaism, because the Christian morality is based in the Old Testament scriptures, right? And that's what we share, and that's what we have in common. And even Christians can agree that that's where it comes from, even though a lot of Christians don't like to read the Old Testament.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
Right? Because they don't make the connection. A lot of them don't make the connection with Jesus being Jewish. All right. So, but see, this is a problem, y'all. That is not the connecting factor here. The morality of the Old Testament and the teachings of Jesus in the New Testament is not the thing that connects us, y'all. That's not what connects us. Jesus himself is the connection. The Old Testament scriptures are the profile of Yeshua. That is it. Yeshua is a Levite, not only of the royal line of Judah and of the throne of David. He is our high priest in the Levitical order. All right, in the Levitical descendancy. So that's it. And as I've said 1,000 times, y'all, what does Levi mean? It means connected, connection, attachment, together. That's what it refers to. Yeshua is the connection of the Old Testament and the New. It's not the morality that connects us. It ain't that. The Bible is much more than a book of morals. You ain't gonna have the morals unless those morals are based in something. It is based in truth. And the Lord is the living truth. And that is the thing that connects us. If you don't got that connection, your morality means nothing. You can shape morality into whatever it is that you think you can, and you can consider yourself a good person, and that ain't gonna mean nothing to Jesus. It ain't gonna be nothing to God. All right? But see, we have these people on there and we applaud them and we think that they're doing such a good thing because, they're being, magnanimous, and we're coming to the table and we're all trying to unite. The unity is a deception, y'all. It's a deception. It's vapid, man. It don't mean anything. It's a Band-Aid for a much bigger problem, for a much bigger wound. It ain't gonna be solved that way by us fooling each other into thinking that our common ground here is the morality of the Old Testament, the basis of the Old Testament that Christianity is built on. No, the connecting factor here is Jesus, Yeshua ben Elohim. That is the factor. That is what all the Old Testament scriptures are showing. That's why the Lord says, man, Moses was talking about me. From the very first word of the scriptures to the very last, it has always been talking about Yeshua. God who would come to us in the person of his son, who he is, what he's going to do, and what's going to happen to him for our atonement. That's what it's about. So Huckabee, man, what is it? What do you think that the Mormons have in common with us? What, the morality? Oh, they're good family people and all that sort of stuff? I ain't going to try to take that away from me. Yeah, that's good. It seems like they got a better record for that than a lot of Christians do.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that's not a good look for Christians. But I tell you what, that ain't gonna mean nothing. That ain't the Mormons. I'm glad that that's good that you got this reputation for being, such family-oriented people and whatnot. That's great. It ain't gonna mean nothing to God that you have taken upon yourself. You have been given over to idolatry. You have taken without verification, you have taken the testimony of an angel that was not commissioned.
Amen.
To report what has been reported. If that's even what happened. Like I said, you can't verify it. All right. You have gone by that and you have subscribed to this religion. So I don't care how family oriented you are. It ain't going to work before the Lord. And Huckabee, you are a stumbling block to them.
Yeah.
You at one time, at least you had it right. At least when you challenged Mitt Romney, it was like, hey, man, doesn't your religion say that the Lord and the devil are brothers? That's blasphemy, cuz. Right? Hey, the Bible don't say nothing like that. And Mike called them out on it. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. That's how you do it. He went back on that.
Yeah.
And what does the word of God say, Mike? What does it say? Cowards will not inherit the kingdom. You cowered away from the truth. You asked Mike a truthful question. In this interrogative statement, you were making a point.
Yeah.
Right? You called him out. But you walked that back. Come on, man, repent. Repent. You apologize to Mike. You need to repent before God.
To admit.
To admit, sorry, thank you. You apologize to Mitt, when you need to repent before God.
Amen.
About walking that back. What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh here?
Less Than 3 Entertainment says, Jesus also did not erase God's law. He fulfilled the prophecy.
Amen. That's right. That's our connection, man. So once again, man, don't that is something that so needs to be driven home, y'all. It so needs, and I want to do my part. Don't try to separate the Hebrew lineage of Jesus. It has to be because this is the bottom line, y'all. This is the bottom line. If you do, that is idolatry, and you will be a stumbling block to yourself. You cannot just make up the nationality of Jesus, man. You can't leave that out. If you do, you just making up an idol that you call Jesus. All right? Our high priest and king is a Jew. Don't mess with that. You know? And so Mike, like I said, man, and Mormons, Mormons definitely mess with that. They definitely mess with that. Huh.
It's ironic because he was at his hearing, to become the, what is it called? Ambassador. The ambassador
okay.
to Israel.
Yeah.
I mean, he says that the Jewish people, the Christians, and the Mormons have a spiritual connection to the land of Israel, and they are all people of the book.
Yeah. No. If it's a spiritual connection, man, that don't mean that the spirit is holy. If you are in agreement with this,
Yeah.
once again, this is a spirit that has to be tested.
Yeah.
And the spirit of this assertion is not squared up with the word of God. I mean, even I think an emissary from Mormonism went over, I think it was to Jerusalem, and made a dedicated a plot. Took it upon himself. This is all, man. This is almost like if you're gonna be like some sort of ambassador that's gonna go over there and make this kind of proclamation, man. That's almost like a spiritual Logan act. Okay, you can't do that, man, because what he did against, I think, and this law is in. Forgive me, y'all, if I can't place it right. In Leviticus, he went over and he made it a dedication, a plot, and made a formal dedication to God, which you can't do, right? Forgive me, y'all, because right, it's one of those things where I got to have the law before me to be able to articulate it correctly, but like winging it like right off the top of my head. But if you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about, and it'll be in there. You can't just go and dedicate. You can't just go and dedicate land to God. All right? It seemed like, that's a good thing to do. I'm going to do that with God, and God's going to be fine with that. I mean, you can't just go and make a dedication to God. All right? So, but this ambassador from the Mormon church took it upon himself to go do that. In Jerusalem, I think. Oh, heck no, man, especially not there. You know, you can't do that. So these people are already out of step with the law that God gave to Moses. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hey, what do I know? Mike Huckabee's been a governor or whatever.
I'm very disappointed though with the way he's going. It just makes me very sad.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, y'all, I guess it's politics.
Yeah.
You got to play the game. You know, maybe I get it. Maybe he's doing the best he can with what he knows how to do. But hey, we're Republican voters, y'all. We'll be the first one to say, hey man, it ain't about your intentions. It's about the results.
Yep.
You know, we want to see the results. If you want to be judged by intentions, you go be a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know,
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Those are the well-intended people who want to be qualified by their well-intentions.
Yeah, exactly. Lesson 3 Entertainment says, people of the book is a reference to Islam. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He says, that is why Muslims must charge a jizya to Christians and Jews. Instead of forcing conversion, it's because Muhammad determined they are people of the book. And the jizya, I think that's a tax, right? They charge a tax to Christians and Jews instead of forcing conversion.
Right, and you can literally get taxed to death.
Yes.
If you don't conform. And forgive me, I don't remember if that's the word for it, but thank you for helping us with our Islamic nomenclature.
And people of the book, that is Muslim nomenclature.
Yeah, and the thing is, and when you talk about people of the book, that's another religion that says it. Mm-hmm. You know, and these things, and it's sad because these people, they're considered this Abrahamic religion. And it's like, no, man, Islam is not an Abrahamic religion. If anything, it is it's a religion that came out of an Abrahamic nation. through Ishmael. But in terms of it being an Abrahamic religion, no, it's not an Abrahamic religion at all. And, it's a religion that has, with Al-Quran, a book that gives you just the right amount of truth to bait you so it can deceive you.
Yeah.
That's a long implemented strategy from cultures all over the place, but it's exemplified in books like Al-Quran. People of the book. And the thing is, a lot of people who claim to be Muslim, they don't even read Arabic. They don't even read it. And which is, is like essential. And the thing is, the ones who do read Arabic, who can really get down to the nitty gritty of the connotations of what Al-Quran says, those are the ones who go off and become terrorists, because they have really embraced the spiritual meaning. And like I said, just because it's spiritual don't mean it's holy. We're talking about being given over to demons. But they're able to read that book, in the language that it was intended for. And those few people who can read it in that aspect, they're the ones who usually go off and become the murderers. All right. So, and anybody else, they're the ones taking liberties with the book, trying to, they cherry pick from it. And, I believe this, but I don't believe this. And why would you even follow that religion? I mean, unless you're terrified. And if you don't, you'll get cut to pieces. But, but I don't follow a religion that I would have to make excuses for or cherry pick. It's like, I believe in this, but I don't believe in this.
I think that's what American Christians do.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, see, I'm a Christian because I believe the Bible. I don't make no excuse for the Bible. I don't be like, I'm pretty sure what God meant and all that sort of stuff. And this right here, we don't have to really do that because that's obsolete. I know that's not what it's for. You know what I'm saying? I don't make no sort of excuses for the Bible. I believe the whole thing, man, the whole thing. That's why I don't follow religion. I follow Jesus. I follow Jesus, man, and I don't have to make no excuses for Jesus. It's I believe the whole thing from what the first word of Genesis says to the last word of Revelation. So hopefully at some point that'll be good enough for Mike to be able to just stand on that. Be like, man, this right here, this the canon right here. You don't need.
He's a former Baptist preacher. I just don't understand how he could say these things.
Well, we'll be praying for him, for real.
Absolutely.
That he remembers that the Lord is the sufficient one.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact that we can go out on. Lesson 3 Entertainment says, Muhammad tried to be a rabbi but could not quote the Torah. He was mocked for failing to do what Jewish children did without issue.
Woo!
Wow.
Okay, thank you for that. What was that?
He lost his spine by being a politician. Yeah, I mean, getting back to Huckabee. Yeah,
right?
I guess so.
But thank you for that bit of Torah trivia.
Yeah,
right?
that was interesting.
It's because that's the thing about it, and the word tells us, man. It's like, look, man, you can come in from another nation. It says love them like a native born. You can come in. It's like you got to make sure that you fully documented. I think that full documentation comes with that circumcision. If you want to be able to, to be able to practice, all the celebrations. But yeah, the thing is, supposedly, to your point, lesson 3, entertainment. To your point, I think Muhammad was illiterate. Because when whatever visitor came to him, whatever visitor was trying to force Muhammad to read. He's like, read it. Had to put him in a headlock, man. Was trying to choke him out, to read it. And he's like, no, I can't read it. I don't know if it's because he just couldn't face what it is that he was supposed to read, or because he was illiterate. But whatever it was, it drove him crazy. It drove him nuts, man. So maybe that was one of the reasons. And yeah, in Hebrew culture, man, you a man. You a man at 13. You a young woman, or you a young man. Bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah. You get it. You've gone through the law and you've demonstrated that you are familiar. And now for me, my contention with that is, okay, you got it, man. You have gone through, you've got this grip on the Torah. But do you really know what it means, though? Because if you haven't figured out that the Torah, it is fulfilled in Yeshua himself, who is the living law, who has always been the living law. Man, I'm not quite sure you understand it yet. Whether you're 13 or whether you're 33, it doesn't matter. If you haven't come to grips with that, then, with the book of the law, as I said, then I don't think you've passed the bar. you want to be able to pass the bar on that. All right, y'all. Hey, I got to get ready for the Joe Messina show. If you guys want to tune in, just type in Joe Messina, the real side, and a search will pull it up if you want to be able to go to it. And I'm going to be on there like around 9:20 Central, and we going to hang out, man, and we going to yuck it up for about, until about 10 Central. So if you guys want to tune in there, support his show, man, because he's still trying to hold it down there in California, and resist the cray. And but that's a Christian conservative brother right there, man. And so I like getting to hang out with him. I'm thankful that he allows me to come on his show. All right, y'all. You guys be groovy, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will talk again soon. Bye.